Welcome to the Career Spotlight of the Week. Figuring out what you want to do with your life is, well, it's a massive decision. And today, in this explainer, we're really focusing on helping you find your natural fit using research-backed exploration. Way too often, we see students just sort of blindly following the popular trends, right? But we want to change that. We want you to discover paths that genuinely align with your unique interests, your specific strengths, and your natural abilities. And that's exactly why this weekly spotlight is guided by the incredible approach over at Aspire Roots. The whole idea here is to introduce students and, of course, parents to exciting emerging careers so you can make really thoughtful, informed decisions well before you even have to lock in your high school subjects. It's all about exploring what's actually out there before committing to a specific stream. So, here is a roadmap for today. Number 1, what is mechatronics? 2, a day in the life. 3, core skills you'll need. 4, the subject roadmap. 5, demand in India. And 6, the Chandrayaan landing.
All right, part 1, what is mechatronics? And spoiler alert, it is way more than just robotics. When most people hear the word mechatronics, they almost instantly assume it's just a fancy synonym for building robots. But it actually encompasses massive fields like industrial automation, nanotechnology, and even the wildly complex systems powering renewable energy. Put simply, mechatronics is the engineering of machines that can sense, think, and act. Look at how beautifully these three disciplines combine. Mechanical engineering, which is rooted in physics, explains how the physical parts of a machine actually move. Electronics and mathematics step in to work out the exact power and precision it needs. And computer science? Well, that acts as the brain. It gives the machine the ability to think, process data, and react entirely on its own.
Let's put this into a real-world context, right here in India. Picture a standard manual auto rickshaw navigating through traffic. It functions entirely because the driver is doing everything manually, pressing the accelerator, shifting the gears, hitting the brakes. But now think about the automated Mumbai Metro. That train literally senses the platform, it stops at exactly the right spot down to the millimeter, and the doors open and close entirely on their own. That difference between a machine that needs a human for every single action and a machine that actually senses and responds to its environment, that is mechatronics in action.
Moving on to part 2, a day in the life. Let's meet Arjun.
So Arjun is a mechatronics engineer working at a massive automobile parts factory over in Pune. Let's say one morning, his production team tells him a robotic arm on the assembly line is placing car door panels just slightly off position. It's slowing down the whole line. Now, Arjun doesn't just run out there and grab a wrench. He starts with step 1, hooking up his laptop and checking the sensors using diagnostic software. He actually notices the sensor readings are drifting over time. Step 2, he pulls up the computer-aided design, or CAD model, to study its movement and compares it with the live data. And he realizes, hey, the physical metal is totally fine. It's the control system telling the arm how to move based on what the sensor sees. So step 3, he rewrites a part of the control program, recalibrates the sensors, and runs some test cycles. By evening, the doors are perfect again. He literally blended software, data analysis, and mechanics to solve the root problem. Which brings us to part 3, core skills needed, your natural abilities.
Now, what's really interesting here is that it's not all just hardcore math and science. Yes, obviously you need problem-solving skills to figure out why things break. And yes, you absolutely need comfort with numbers so calculations don't totally freeze you up. Plus, you need that raw curiosity about machines, wondering how an escalator or a washing machine actually operates behind the scenes. But look at those last two. You need immense patience for testing. Because let's be real, prototypes will fail. And you have to be okay with trying again without getting frustrated. And importantly, clear communication. You have to be able to take these highly technical ideas and explain them to your teammates and managers in incredibly simple words.
Next up, part 4, the high school subject roadmap.
Let's translate those natural abilities into a clear step-by-step roadmap for Indian high school students navigating their stream selections. If you want to build a machine that thinks, you need to combine these specific subjects. Step 1 is your base foundation. Physics and mathematics are simply non-negotiable for understanding movement and logic. Step 2, you add reactants with chemistry, which is super vital for understanding materials, sensors, and battery technologies. Step 3, you add the brains by taking computer science, so you can actually learn programming and logic gates. And finally, step 4, master context with English, ensuring you have the communication skills to document your work and lead teams. This exact combination perfectly lays the groundwork for your engineering degree.
All right, part 5, future demand in India, a growing job market. So let's say you follow this roadmap, put in the hard work, and graduate. What exactly does the job market look like waiting for you? Well, the demand right now is growing exceptionally fast. As factors and industries rapidly automate, top Indian firms like Tata Motors, Mahindra, Bosch, and Larsen & Toubro are just constantly hiring. You also have incredible opportunities at organizations like ISRO for advanced space and robotics work. And beyond the corporate giants, there is this booming ecosystem of robotics and automation startups actively recruiting across Bangalore, Pune, and Chennai. Plus, if you ever want to expand your horizons, there's massive global scope in countries like Germany, Japan, and the US, who are all investing heavily in fields like biomechatronics and nanotechnology.
And finally, part 6, the Chandrayaan moon landing, a truly historic achievement.
To truly understand the grand scale and the absolute awe-inspiring impact of Indian space research and how this specific career fits into it, look no further than this historic national achievement. When India became the absolute first country in the world to successfully land a spacecraft near the uncharted lunar South Pole, that was a triumph of mechatronics. I mean, think about it. Millions of kilometers away, with no human holding a joystick, the lander used its sensors to read the lunar surface below it in real time. It processed that data instantly and adjusted its own mechanical engines entirely on its own during those terrifying final seconds before touchdown. That perfect harmony of mechanical systems, electronics, and computer thinking, that is exactly what we've been talking about today.
Mechatronics sits perfectly at the meeting point of mechanical engineering, electronics, and computer science. It is for students who love building things, but who also deeply want to understand how to make those things think for themselves. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to ponder. Could you see yourself designing the next machine that solves a huge real-world problem entirely on its own? Is this the path for you? Take some time to really think about it, stay curious, and keep exploring.